We did OMA Mobile and OMA Social on Friday here at the AT&T Conference Center as part of South by, and we had standing room only crowds of like 1,000+ people, and several people asked the audience how many were agency, how many were brands, and at least half the audience said they were from agencies, and a huge number from brands. And we've never, I mean, it's MediaPost, we've never seen that many people from agencies in one location. What is the draw to South by for agencies?
Well, I mean, I think part of it goes to what you were saying, but when I look at things in this new space, it's the curiosity that I think, and the short time that a lot of our clients get to spend in their jobs, which makes, we all read the articles about how long a CMO stays in their company, but when we only used to know the one person who was the media director at the company, they were curious, but now there's so many people that we have these deeper tentacles into these companies, and everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to do, everybody wants to feel. I think fragmentation has helped that become a bigger mainstream thing. I think that when you talk about social media, we do intelligence briefing days. We just did our social media day that Ariana Huffington hosted, and we had almost everyone we invited flew from across the country to come to this meeting in New York, where we had 20 media partners from the space, no sales, no pitches, no PowerPoint. You had to come and talk. And is what makes it exciting for the attendees, scary for us, is that if the conversation isn't good, it's not good. But the conversation luckily was good. And we can only probably handle 3 or 4 of those a year, because you're not going to get people to fly in to do these things all the time. But the response was great. We do a short video that we can use for them. We brought an artist in to talk about so they had a memory of the day, kind of some pictures of each section that they could do. But I think that South by Southwest, whether we like it or not, it's become as mainstream as everything else, at least to the media agency.
And what do you think? What's the draw here for agencies?
I mean, it's the ideas, it's what's next, but I think a lot of it has to do with the connections that you can make. It's being inspired and bringing that back. That's what we're trying to do here for everyone that can't make it down to Austin. We're trying to bring the stories and everything that's happening here to them, but it's just, you feel like you're at the pulse of what's next and what's happening. And in the agency world, that's really where we need to be. So, like I said, it totally makes sense to be here. I'm so excited to be here, and
we've been hearing consistently for 2 days now inspiration, and I know companies that they're being driven are okay, and then there's the bottom line. Can somebody link together for me inspiration at South by and the bottom line?
Sure.
How does that get there?
I'm happy to take a stab at that. Let's say that you pay an advertising agency to be kind of what's happened today, whether it's creative or media or whatever agency you have, and it's fragmented. You're paying these folks to be your consultants / advisors in the space. So the longer we can hold on to an advertiser client, the better it is for the bottom line. We're growing with new ones, but not losing the base is really the critical thing. So we treat all of our current clients as marketing partners to figure out what else can we do to surround around the edges on all this new thinking, and I think that's made a difference. So I don't think we can look at it like, how much did we charge on that Flipboard ad and how much did we make on that? But I think the relationships that you get for that have taken all the other relationships that we've broadened over the years, and whether we like it or not, procurement's another one that we talk about. People hated to have to meet with procurement. We liked it. It meant more people thought that they were interested in what we do, and it meant more people in the company that we could create evangelists over OMD. Hopefully that would happen. But all these things are around the edge, and I think we're just trying to make that edge as mainstream as possible today.
So we're talking about really with inspiration, really like linking it basically all the way through the process. Is that how you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything starts with ideas. Ideas power everything, and I think that this is the kind of place where that starts. You make the connections. You meet up with partners. You can meet up with clients you already have. You talk about what you're doing, and then everything just rolls out from there. So I just think that when I say inspiration, it's inspiring you to go back and do something with the ideas that you've come along with here. I mean, you might make real relationships and do actual things, but you might just be inspired to do something else new because you've just seen these amazing people, these amazing new technologies, and it makes you want to do more yourself.
I think that's the point when everyone goes back to their jobs. They take this experience, and we have certainly a lot of people that work for us that are but would you say half my age probably, Annika?
Probably.
And, so I think that they get inspired too. It helps us kind of retain people because they're playing in the space that everyone cares about, and it helps our turnover be among the lowest of all the media agencies, and it's tough to keep people because what are people doing? They're leaving for startups. And
Right.
so, you know, to your I listened to your point and I'm thinking, yeah, it could happen. People meet somebody, I met someone at South by, I'm leaving. But we hope that we're providing a dynamic enough experience and a broad enough experience where when I worked at NBC, I felt like I was in the middle of everything. Yes, I was doing the digital stuff when we first met, but also we were doing things that everybody was in the culture. Everyone wanted to know what's next, what do you do? Did you see that episode last night of whatever show? Today, I think the center of that is in the agencies where we're kind of at the cornerstone of the future of marketing, and we want to, everyone loves that. And I love it, and I think the people that work with me do. And I think that's what's kind of made advertising agencies like a really cool place to be that nobody would have considered for a career maybe 10 years ago.
And do the brands get this?
I think they do. I think that they are more and more demanding, and they have more and more agencies, and just the same fragmentation we saw in media, we're seeing in agencies, because once they separated the ad agency to become a creative and a media shop, all of a sudden it became like a cluttered environment. And I think that what we've all seen, at least at our agency, is that advertisers will take the best idea they get from anyone. We want that to be our idea, in many cases it is, but we'll support whatever idea they come up with. I'm sure everybody else would say the same thing. But I think that it has become more challenging in this fragmented world, that people feel like they need more advisors, which is one reason why we've been building our mobile offering and our gaming offering and our pop culture offering. We do a book every month on pop culture, on what's new in fashion, music, and celebrity. It's probably the most popular thing we do. It's not e-copy. We don't distribute it unless you're a paying Ignition Factory client. You don't get it. But now we're going to take that to Williamsburg in September and do a pop live day where we bring in speakers to talk about what's the next thing that's happening in the space of fashion, music, and celebrity. But I feel like, is that media? I don't know. Today, what isn't? I mean, if it's helping our clients sell more products, it's media. That's how I look at it.
Nice. So Aaron, what do you want to see at South by Southwest next? You're still here for a little bit.
Yeah.
What directs you?
Well, we've been meeting up with a couple people. We interviewed with Bob Garfield on Friday night.
Yeah, he was with us all day Friday.
Yes. So that was great and very entertaining and great conversation. But we've been meeting with some really great people, and we want to continue to do that. We met with the co-founder of Songza, which is a music concierge service, and very excited about that personally because I'm a big fan. But so meeting people and those connections, but I do want to try to get to more panels and finding, I heard one piece of advice, which seems to be the best piece of advice, which is have one thing that you want to do every day and make sure you can do that thing.
So what's your thing today or tomorrow?
Oh, well, today was I want to be here.
Okay.
So this is my thing that I had to do today, wanted to do today.
Right.
I'm really happy to be here. But and so everything else kind of has to work around that.
Right.
And so that's my strategy, and really just taking everything in. I walked through the convention center this morning, and for the first time, I mean, it was the first time I got to the convention center this morning, which I think is crazy, because I thought I would be spending most of my time there. So it's just those connections again. But I want to see more panels. I saw yesterday morning Made in New York, Austin, about New York tech startups and why it's a great place for them, and saw Rachel Stern now, Hoyt. And just a really great conversation about New York and what's going on there. So I think those smaller conversations are really, really it's so interesting. So I'm going to try to find some of those smaller interesting
Closing
panels.
thoughts on South by.
Great collaborative connections. It's just been an amazing experience meeting people, and like I said, it feels like a community among agencies, and I'm just excited to keep meeting new people and connecting and telling them about MRN, because it's an opportunity to say this is who we are and this is what we do, and no pressure, just a conversation and not a sales pitch, which I like.
Now, closing thoughts on South by.
I would say, we're excited about being here and tomorrow's event, but if you check out one new emerging company that's going to be coming out shortly, is check out Cameo, which everybody is excited about coming out of South by Southwest on my team, which is really where you get to put yourself into other videos. but it'll be launching soon, and that seems to be getting a lot of buzz.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Erin. And thank you, JWT, for loaning us your house and your AV and everything else, as well as Rob behind the camera. And this is MediaPost from South by Southwest.